What's up, guys? I am in a house. Why? Because I'm gonna be taking you guys through a 3-week of jump training that you can do right at home. Now, the first part of any warm-up will be your isometric drills. We're gonna be doing isometric for the knee and for the Achilles. The purpose of this is to decrease your knee pain. It can also be preventative. If you've had a history of knee pain and you're healthy now, you should still do these just to decrease the risk of injury. First, we're gonna start with 4 sets of 45 seconds of manual knee isometrics. You can do any isometric where your knee is going into extension. And then you're gonna do 4 sets of 45 seconds of Achilles isometrics. You can do this by pushing up into a wall and going onto the balls of your foot. You wanna be at around 70% effort for both of these isometrics to get that analgesic effect, which basically means your pain is gonna be going down. You know you're at the right intensity if pain decreases. First, before you train, you have to warm up. This is gonna be the exact same warm up for all the days of training. We are going to first start with jump dynamic flexibility. The first exercise is gonna be hip hinges. We're gonna do 20 reps of that. Then we're gonna go into 20 reps of bodyweight squats, bodyweight lunges, 10 arm circles forward, 10 arm circles backwards, 10 side lunges each side, leg swings forward, leg swings to the side. Then we're gonna do an external rotation glute stretch, 10 each side. Then we're gonna do hurdle trail legs, 10 each side. Next, we will be doing a sprint development circuit. Normally, you would do this outside in a field or in a track, but if you are at home, you can also do these in place. First, we're gonna do 20 reps of high knees, butt kicks, 20 reps of A skips, B skips, and then end with 20 reps of straight leg bounds. Now you should be feeling nice and warm and ready to go. You should have a light sweat going, and you are ready to get into the sprinting part of the workout, which John is gonna introduce.
So after the warm-up that Isaiah just listed, the next thing you're gonna do is acceleration development. Acceleration development is purely just sprinting. It's running as fast as you can and trying to generate a lot of impulse or force on the ground. This is great for jumping because jumping is essentially the same thing, but you're just trying to go vertically instead of forward. So on Monday, you're gonna do 7 by 30 meters. So to do this, I would probably go down into a crouch position and then just push out of this each step, trying to hit the ground as hard as you possibly can and project your body forward. Between each set of sprints or rep of sprints, you're gonna wanna rest roughly a minute per 10 meters. Now this might seem like a long time. You need to remember that for sprinting to be effective, it has to be at maximum effort. So anything less than that is not going to allow you to adapt optimally. So if you don't have space to do the sprints, then your alternative is actually depth drops or depth jumps. So assuming you're totally healthy, you don't have any pain or anything else, what you're able to do is find probably a 12-inch to 24-inch box, step off of it, and then rebound off the ground as you're falling, also known as a depth jump. Now, some coaches would probably not advise this, but I think it's totally fine, especially if you're using those lower boxes and you really don't have access to anything else. I'd rather my athlete check that box of doing an elastic activity instead of not doing any at all. So after you do your dynamic activity or your elastic activity, we wanna work on strength. Typically in the weight room, we would do a squat or a clean or something else, but because we don't have access to a barbell, we can actually do a bodyweight exercise known as a pistol squat. Now the reason that pistol squats are so effective is because you're able to go through big ranges of motion and be in relatively poor leverages, which requires you to generate a lot of force. Now this does require quite a bit of mobility, so you can hold on to something to assist yourself or change the range of motion. So for this, you're gonna do 5 sets of 8 reps each leg. After you complete your pistol squats, we're just gonna do 5 by 12 pull-ups. So if you have a pull-up bar, go ahead and hook that onto a door. There's super cheap options online. Your alternative also is maybe just go to a playground. Literally anything you could find to hold on to and do 5 by 12 pull-ups. You could superset these, that way you go pistol squat to pull-up and be even more time efficient if you need to. So after you've done your isos, your warm-up, your sprints, pistol squats, and pull-ups, you're gonna finish the day off with Nordic hamstring curls. So this is a great exercise for your hamstrings. The purpose of this exercise is to develop your eccentric strength of the hamstring muscle. A lot of people like to use this as a performance exercise. That's not really its purpose, but because your constraints are limited, it is a good exercise to do at home because the intensity is so high. So for this, you can either start at 4 to 5 sets of 8 reps. You could do partial reps where you just come down a little bit and pull yourself up, or you could do the full rep coming down, letting your chest touch the ground, and then pushing yourself back up. If you have access to bands, you can also hold a band overhead, attach it to something behind you, and that will actually assist you and allow you to do full range of motion for the allotted reps. That is your Monday session, and now Isaiah will get into Wednesday.
Now we're gonna go to the Wednesday workout. You're gonna start how you did on Monday. You're gonna do the exact same warm up. You're also going to do 8 sets of 30-meter sprints this time. So we're gonna add 1 more set to today. And then we're gonna do the #1 exercise to jump higher, and that is having max effort jump sessions. For the dunk session, you're either gonna find a hoop that you can have a dunk session at, or find something that's really high in the air that is hard for you to touch, and that's gonna be your object that you're gonna jump and reach towards. Or if you have literally zero equipment or anything to touch, you're just gonna find an open space and run and jump as high as you can into the air. You want to do as many jumps as you can at maximum effort, maximum approach. You're basically going to jump for as long as you can until the quality of the session significantly drops off. Then we're going to move into a superset. You're gonna be really nice and warm after the session here, so you can start at maximum effort. You're gonna super a straight leg jumping glute bridge with a reverse Nordic. The straight leg jumping glute bridge is a really good 1-foot jumping exercise, and it is gonna work on your rate of force development. It's reactive, so you're just gonna go straight into the rep after you jump up. This is gonna overload the eccentric portion of the exercise, and it is very plyometric in nature. This is very, very intense, so make sure you're really warm before you get into this. And after you do your 8 reps of that, you're gonna go into the 8 reps reverse Nordic, go nice and slow on these, really slow on the eccentric, and then explode up on the concentric. And that is going to be your strength stimulus for the workout. Remember, this is a superset, so you're gonna alternate the exercises. Use the other exercise as the rest period for the previous one. They are working, for the most part, different muscle groups, so you should be able to get this done in a very time-efficient manner. Next, we're going to go into another superset, and it is gonna be manual hip abduction and manual hip adduction. Now, ideally, you would have a partner that is able to push down on your leg. For the abduction, they're gonna push on your top leg. For the adduction, they're gonna push on your inside leg, and you're gonna fight against their resistance. If you don't have a partner that can help you out with these, you can also do these by yourself manually. Simply just go into a side plank and then move the outside leg for abduction and the inside leg for adduction. And you're gonna superset these for 4 sets of 8.
So we are on to Friday. After doing your Monday and Wednesday session, you might be a little bit sore. That's totally fine. Soreness is not necessarily an indication of fatigue or injury or anything else. It is an indicator of novel training stimuli, which basically means doing something new. So after the warm-up that we listed at the beginning of the video, if you forgot that, go back and rewatch it. You are going to do 8 by 30 meters, but on a hill for the sprints. Remember, every 10 meters that you sprint, you want to rest 1 minute to keep quality high for that exercise. After you do your sprints, you're going to find a wall, a tree, any immovable object that you can push back against. Then what you're gonna do is push as hard as you possibly can for 8 sets of 8 seconds. What this is going to do is recruit a lot of those type 2 fibers, those big motor units that you're not really able to recruit because you don't have access to a barbell. We're going to recruit those during a max effort isometric exercise. So you're gonna do 8 by between 6 to 8 seconds of that exercise, and you're gonna superset it with tuck jumps. So these are just reactive jumps where you're tucking the heels to the butt. The knees will come up slightly during this exercise. And the goal of this is to try to connect the dots between those big type 2 fibers that you recruited during the isometric exercise, and then trying to use it in a stress shortening cycle in the plyometric activity. For the tuck jumps, you're only gonna superset it for the first 3 sets because you did jump on Wednesday. So you'll only total 18 reps for those tuck jumps. So the first 3 sets, supersetting, you'll go wall sit, tuck jumps, wall sit, tuck jumps, wall sit, tuck jumps, and then 3 additional sets of just the wall sits, pushing back into a wall or a tree, like I said. So for the next exercise, you're going to do a single leg RFD press. So for this exercise, you're gonna put your hands on the door frame, on the sides and the top of the door frame to support yourself, and push through the ball of your foot as hard as you possibly can. If you do it right, you'll feel a lot of pressure through your hands. You'll feel like you're supporting yourself with your shoulders and your spine. And this is a great exercise to develop your intra-abdominal muscles and the core muscles that are ultimately gonna help you perform and propel your body over space better. Similarly to what we did in the last exercise, you're gonna superset it with a plyometric. In this case, you are going to do a single leg butt kick. So you're just gonna stand on one leg and repetitively jump on that leg, kicking your heel to your butt, landing and repeating that for 2 sets of 8 reps. So again, you're gonna go isometric RFD press, single leg hop, RFD isometric press, single leg hop, and then 4 additional sets of that isometric exercise. And for the final superset, what you are going to do is find something that you can put your foot underneath. A bed works perfectly, so I would recommend doing that. You're gonna put one foot on the ground in support, the other leg back behind you, and you're gonna drive the leg back behind you as hard as you possibly can into the bed or whatever immovable object you select. You're gonna do this for 6 sets of 6 seconds on each leg. So you're gonna actually superset this with the same exercise that you did on Wednesday, which is the single leg jumping glute bridge. So it's kind of that bridge position and you're just pushing up as aggressively as possible, getting air time, coming down and doing it again. Make sure you wear shoes for that because obviously we don't want you to bruise your heel. So similarly to the exercises above, you're only gonna do 4 sets of that exercise for 5 reps each leg. So after you do your RFD heel drive, you're gonna superset it with the single leg jumping glute bridge, and you're gonna do that 4 times over, and then 2 additional sets for 6 total sets of the isometric RFD heel drive exercise. And that is Friday. At this point, you're probably absolutely decimated, and that's the goal. We're trying to load optimally, or in some cases even better than we would have been able to with a barbell.
And now, after getting absolutely obliterated all week, guess what? It's time to dunk, baby. We are going to do a second dunk session for the week. Again, we want to up that specificity. This is what's going to move the needle the most as far as your progress. And you're going to follow the same guidelines for the session, ISOs, warm up, and go straight into a jump session. Jump until the quality of the jump significantly drops down. You're gonna take 1 day off on Sunday and repeat the process all over again. Ideally, you would lower the volume and increase the intensity of that week. Repeat that for about 3 weeks and then unload. During that last recovery week is when you will see your body recover and you will jump higher at the end of those 4 weeks. That is it for the video, guys. Make sure to like the video if you found value in it. Comment any questions you have and we'll get back to you. Subscribe if you haven't. Peace out, and I'll catch you guys next time. That was kind of brutal.
That was horrible. Let's go get food.